All right, guys, welcome back. We have the exhaust today. So quick rundown. I'm gonna set up the exhaust. I got basically a universal kit, 2.5 inch. I have two of these, so double everything we've got just to be safe. Some 45s, 290s, two 180s. This is an H pipe. It basically is the resonator delete. I'm gonna pull those, or I already pulled that out of the Mustang. Muffler options. Originally, I'd gotten this and thinking, oh, this should work. I'm gonna end up having to put these mufflers back in this space here, past this rear IRS cradle, and fabricate stuff into the tips. I actually got up under there and realized these guys, a style like this, would fit actually under the car. So goal is to get these actually under the car before the IRS cradle, and then up and behind that and into the tips we will start to, you know, make the cuts and do some pie cuts and fit everything into this exhaust. So this is a basic exhaust setup. These tips have them all centered right here. We'll put them in here. Obviously that piece on top, I'm going to cut that off, reinforce this pan so those tips are up nice and high. I still do have to get a backup camera installed in there, the factory Mustang camera I want to have up in that lip somewhere. That's the rundown for today. We'll kind of do some rough fitment, see where those mufflers are going to sit, maybe make some adjustments to those so they clear and they're not against the floor pan too much, so we don't have heat. There is some heat insulation right where they're at, so that helps. I also did get, just to be safe, bought some DEI muffler shielding kit here, which is just some insulation. I'll wrap that around these mufflers once I get them in there, just to make sure. It's kind of right where the fuel tanks are. That's where the resonators were anyway, and exhaust ran there anyway, so it's designed from the factory to take that heat, but better safe than sorry. So let's take a look underneath the car. As we can see, it's a 1963 Ford Unibody F100, and here's what she looks like underneath. Kind of cool. It's like looks really clean for 63. Just joking. It's funny climbing under here because you see everything just like pristine factory new car. So basically right here we're gonna see runs out of the headers. This is still all factory. I'm not gonna put headers on. You've got the cats into where the resonator's attached here. Pulled this out. This is where the H pipe is gonna be, and then back to where you can see this reflective heat isolator stuff here. This is where those two mufflers are gonna sit. And then the work we have is past the mufflers. You can start to see the rear differential. We're gonna have to go around that cradle here and come up into the body and meet the tips basically. So that's where we're gonna kind of get to doing all the pie cutting and try to make it look good. So let's get it going. So we got the H pipe on, the two mufflers. If you take a look at it, this one looks pretty good. H pipe in the muffler. This piece comes up, it'll come over the sway bar and then run into the tips here. We can make some adjustments here. This side is, you can see the tip is running into this differential. So I'm gonna pull the muffler off. Here, we're going to make a small little, maybe 1 or 2 degree, grind it with the grinder, I'm thinking. Grind this side to grind this side, match that angle, and then I can get it a little bit sloped down and over. We've got pretty tight clearances there, so I just need to get under this differential so I can kind of get a setup where I can run that, and this will come up over the sway bar, and then I can run into the tips. got her tacked up. I left a little bit of a gap. It was too much of an angle, so let's test fit this guy. All right guys, so we're chipping away at this exhaust. We've got the tips mocked up, some stuff cut away so I can fit the tips in, and the stuff from the H-pipe back, and we'll just connect it. Been working on some other stuff. Little Ripper here, let's show him your arm. Little Ripper broke his arm, so we've been dealing with that. Had to take a little break, but we're back at it, so. See you, bud. So we've kind of mocked up the tips here, you can see, with this brace, so they're all level. If you look under here, we cut away this little lip so those tips can fit up nice and flush up here tight. Put a support in, and then of course we know down there we got the H pipes. We'll run them up. Probably gonna go under the sway bar instead of over it. What? We'll put these tips, we'll put these tips in here, and then we'll just connect the two. So let's get cracking. Here's what we're looking at so far. Here's the mocked up rear section of the exhaust. So I did wrap it in some fiberglass wrap, header wrap, just to, I had some spare stuff, wanted to use it up, so I just to keep the heat out of there. So wrap this up. Tips are here. Kind of maintain the orientation of those rear tips with this bar that's welded in. The rear isolators, these kind of utilize the factory rear isolators on the IRS, the rear cradle for the suspension. I'll show you that. And then the mufflers, I also wrap those in heat insulation. Really all we have left is I'm gonna get a mount, have another one of these, or two of these little isolators here. I'll probably come off of this bar just to hold these tips where they need to go, and find a good place to weld that in. So let's get it installed. All right, well, the exhaust is done. Let's take a look. So see back here, got the pipes running. Tips look good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we'll put on a song in a second. So tips look good. Got it fit up in that recession up there, which is exactly what I wanted. So they're all centered, look really good. I'm gonna be completely honest, not super happy about, I want to stay away from the sway bar, and doing a 90 here and a 90 there. I feel like I could have 45'd or made some pie cuts and cut that a little closer to the rear subframe there. Once I hit that rear differential, I could start creeping up and eliminate these 90s. All right, so sounds good. I don't know how well you guys pick it up on camera. Cold start, it's got a nice little raspy tone to it. It's kind of got a chance to warm up a little bit. If you guys can hear it, there's the idle. All right, let's just drive it a little bit out my cul-de-sac and see how it feels. I forgot to mention, for the rear IRS, I put in some metal bushings, so it should eliminate all the flex. If you notice, my custom seat mounts here, the seat's not really mounted in, and I don't feel like getting slung out of the truck. So just a quick little ripper on the cul-de-sac. For the time being, that works. I may end up redoing it just to make everything a little tighter. Got quite a bit left still. We're gonna fit all the panels probably. I'll fit the hood, I'll fit the doors. Only large fabrication we have left is the dash, obviously. So I'm gonna integrate the old dash, build some panels off the old dash, basically to cancel out a lot of the glove box, everything else. Smooth some metal down to the console, build something there, and then have it all wrapped in leather. I still need to figure out seats. I really like that style of seat. So I'm torn between seats, whether I get that Corbu style seat, I like them, they're really comfortable, or I go with an old school truck seat from like TMI, or even go with like a race seat from like Sparco. I love the Sparco seats, how they hold you in tight, and I'd love to autocross the truck and do racing type stuff with it, and those seats would be the best for that. However, they're so high. I don't like the super high seats in the cab where the head is sticking way up, you know, behind the back window, the seat is sticking way up. So I'll look at some stuff, we'll figure it out. Got to build the cage yet on the interior, and a lot of body work to do. Some shrinking of the metal where we shorten the bed up. It still has a little bulge. I got to get an oxyacetylene torch to do some shortening. I try to do it with a propane torch and it just doesn't have the heat. So got to do that. Seats, obviously, we've got some choices I kind of talked about. If you guys have any input, what you think, feel free to reach out. And everybody that has been reaching out, offering to put products on the truck or stuff they make, their own little personal businesses, I appreciate that. I'm meeting a lot of cool, kind of like-minded people who are always reaching out to me, either, you know, in a private forum or out in the public forum, giving me advice and products and stuff that they think would be awesome on this truck. So I appreciate it. But lots of good stuff coming up. So thanks for subscribing. And as always, God bless and long live hot rodding.